There are off-season rumors that pass almost unnoticed, small movements, routine interviews, names that appear and disappear without causing much impact. And then there are other rumors that completely change the atmosphere of an entire franchise. This one clearly belongs to the second group, because when the market starts to revolve around the next offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles, we are not just talking about a hire. We are talking about identity, philosophy, internal power, and most importantly, the immediate future of this offense. And let me ask you something right away. Do you think the Eagles are simply looking for an offensive coordinator, or someone who could quietly redefine who really runs this offense? Stay with me until the end, because the names that are emerging now say far more than they appear to at first glance. All of this begins in an already heavy context, an early playoff elimination, an offense that failed when it mattered most, an offensive coordinator fired, public frustration, internal pressure, and an organization that, historically, does not like to stand still when it feels something needs to change. Kevin Patullo is gone, and from that moment on, the clock started ticking. According to information that began circulating over the last few hours, the Eagles have already initiated concrete moves to fill that vacancy. And the important detail here is that these are not random interviews or low-impact names. On the contrary, what is emerging points to an aggressive, strategic, and potentially transformative process. The first clear signal came via NFL Network. Mike Garafolo reported that the Eagles requested permission to interview the current offensive coordinator of the Indianapolis Colts, a name that, for many fans, may not immediately sound explosive, but that carries a very interesting context. We are talking about someone who worked with Nick Sirianni in 2021, knows the internal structure of the organization, and helped lead an Indianapolis offense that finished among the league's best in passing yards and scoring. An offense that also featured Jonathan Taylor rushing for over 2,500 yards in the season. That already tells us something important. The Eagles are not searching for a random revolutionary. They are looking at someone who combines production, balance, and familiarity with the head coach. But that was only the beginning. Shortly after, another name surfaced, and this one drew even more attention. According to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, the Eagles also interviewed the current interim head coach and offensive coordinator of the New York Giants. This detail is not small, because interviewing someone who is currently leading a direct division rival carries enormous symbolic weight. It is almost a silent message that the franchise is willing to look anywhere, even within the NFC East, if it believes that person can fix what did not work. And then, just when it seemed the rumor mill was already hot enough, came the name that truly changed the tone of the conversation. According to Connor Hughes of SNY, a former NFL head coach is expected to receive an extended look for the Eagles' offensive coordinator position. Not a quick interview, not a routine conversation, a deep evaluation. And here, the signal becomes much stronger. Because when a franchise considers bringing in a former head coach for a position lower on the hierarchy, it is rarely just about play calling. It is about influence. It is about control. It is about who truly sets the direction of the offense day to day. This coach also has a direct connection to the Eagles' quarterback. They have worked together before. They know each other. There is history. There is a shared language. That alone adds another layer of meaning. And before revealing the name, it is worth understanding what this represents. Nick Sirianni is officially in charge, but hiring an offensive coordinator with this profile changes the internal dynamic. A big name, experienced, with former head coach status, does not arrive just to execute orders. He arrives with a voice, with his own ideas, with informal authority. And that may be exactly what the Eagles are looking for, or exactly what makes this choice so delicate. Now, the name. We are talking about Brian Daboll. Yes, the same Brian Daboll who is head coach of the New York Giants, the same Daboll who has long been considered one of the league's top quarterback developers, the same Daboll who worked directly with Jalen Hurts during their time at Alabama. That detail cannot be ignored. Daboll is known for adapting systems to the quarterback, not the other way around. He has built effective offenses with different types of players. He has won at a high level as an offensive coordinator. And despite his recent failure as a head coach, his reputation as an offensive mind remains strong across the league. When the Eagles show real interest in someone like Daboll, the message is clear. They want someone with authority, a strong resume, and the ability to take over the offense almost as a personal project. But he is not the only heavyweight name on this board. Another name that surfaced, perhaps the most eye-catching from a media perspective, was that of a former head coach known for creativity, aggressiveness, and modern offensive systems. When asked directly about this possibility, Jeff Darlington indicated that this coach is expected to receive an interview with the Eagles, although it has not yet been officially confirmed. That name is Mike McDaniel. And here, the scenario changes completely. McDaniel represents the opposite of the rigid offense we saw from the Eagles in 2025. Pre-snap motion, creativity, speed, constant stress on the defense. If McDaniel truly enters this process, he would immediately become the most coveted name on the list. But this also raises an uncomfortable question. Would Nick Sirianni be willing to share the offensive spotlight with someone of that caliber? Because in the end, this search for an offensive coordinator is not just about replacing Kevin Patullo. It is about fixing an offense that failed. It is about responding to fan pressure. It is about showing the franchise understood the playoff message. The Eagles have talent. That is not up for debate. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, a strong offensive line. The problem was never a lack of pieces. It was a lack of cohesion, rhythm, and identity. And that is exactly why this decision is so critical. Choosing the wrong offensive coordinator means repeating 2025. Choosing the right name could put the Eagles back among the most feared offenses in the NFL as early as 2026. But there is one final detail that cannot be ignored. The stronger the name hired, the greater the pressure on the head coach. An offensive coordinator with status, experience, and results creates immediate comparisons. It creates expectations. It creates healthy tension, or not. And maybe that is exactly what the franchise is looking for right now. A jolt. A new offensive brain. A voice capable of changing the direction of the offense, even if that means shaking internal structures that once seemed untouchable. Nothing has been decided yet. No hire has been announced. But the signs are all there. Interviews happening. Big names emerging. The backstage moving. And when the Eagles start moving like this, history shows that something big is usually coming. The question is not just who will be the next offensive coordinator. The question is how far this choice will change the Eagles we know today. And that answer could define the entire 2026 season.